What's up YouTube, Team Schmick here, and today we have Michael Borg with his counter fairies. Michael, how long have you been playing this deck for?
I've been playing this deck on and off for about almost 5 years now. I enjoy the anti-meta aspect of it, and it's probably one of my favourite decks, if not my favourite deck of all time, and I enjoy playing it even when Solemn Judgment got limited, even when Solemn Warnings just got limited, and I'm still playing the deck now and having as much fun as I did back then.
Sounds good. Shall we get into this?
No worries. So, start off with 3 Bountiful Artemis. It's what makes it a counter fairy deck. Draw 1 card each time a player activates a counter trap card. And
pretty much the heart and soul of the deck.
Pretty much. 3 DD Warrior Lady. A lot of people don't like this card. What I've noticed is that if you play a counter fairy deck, you need to be able to survive without drawing Bountiful Artemis, because it's, in honesty, you're not going to draw it every single game. So I feel that cards like DD Warrior Lady make those 1-for-1 trades which allow you to survive and keep playing a control game, and it gets rid of problematic threats like one that was in mains and many big monsters.
Yep.
2 Thunder King Ryo. Not 3 because Konami was smart enough to semi-limit it. Not like they've made many good decisions at all.
Yeah, pretty standard. You would be playing Frito, wouldn't you?
Yeah, most definitely. 2 Fossil Dino Pachycephalo. Stop special summons, and it's just a general all-around good card. I know a lot of people tried Dragon the Spiritualist, but that's vulnerable to Effect Veiler, and it's quite weak with only 200 attacks, so I feel that this is a better choice for the most part.
Much better.
1 Honest, because you play a lot of light monsters. There's 8 in this deck, and Honest is just far too powerful to ignore. And my own special tech choice is 3 Dirac Wyber. I played this card because everyone knows how annoying Lagia and Dolka are, and it's even worse when it's backed up by a bunch of counter traps, so I feel that this is a major surprise, and not many people see it coming, and then before it's too late, it's...
And before there's like a Lagia, some counter traps, or a Dolka behind lots of counter traps, and if you have a T-King or a Fossil Dino afterwards,
That's right, and at worst it's essentially a 1-card rank 4 exceed, so that's always good. So that's 14 monsters. Spells, 3 Forbidden Lance. Protects your monsters, helps your Guibers run over other monsters, and because you play a low monster count, you want every summon to count and not lose your monsters to cards like Dimensional Prison, Bottomless Trap Hole, Mirror Force. So that helps out there. 2 Pot of Duality, because you only special summon with Guibers or when you use your extra deck, and that's hardly every turn, so getting that extra card definitely helps. Dark Hole for monster removal. And then Book of Moon, because it's also defense, helps Guiber run over monsters, and I don't like looking at my opponent's cards.
Notice you don't play Silver or Calcos. Is the reason for that is because you play Guiber now?
Playing Guiber, yes, and I also realised that having access to the extra deck is a far greater utility than having an extra 500 attack on your monsters. And I've just felt not needed anymore, so I'm very happy with the Guibers. Onto the traps, I'll start with the counter traps, so Solemn Judgment and Solemn Warning. They're pretty standard. 3 copies of Dark Bribe, 2 copies of Divine Wrath, 2 copies of Magic Drain, 2 copies of 7 Tools of the Bandit, and 1 copy of The Huge Revolution is over. Alright,
so I've got some questions here. So, why Divine Wrath over Fiendish Chain?
Divine Wrath is a counter trap, and as much as I hate the card for having a discard cost even when you don't have Artemis on your field, being a counter trap means it can hit a lot more stuff.
Just hit anything.
Yeah, it can also hit cards like Gauze and Tragodia in the hand, cards activate in the graveyard, cards activate when they're banished.
Now, you said a lot of back row in this, and I noticed you don't play Starlight Road, but Huge Revolution is over instead. Reasoning?
Don't play Starlight Road. The old reasoning was because you can stop Starlight Road with Solemn Warning. The reason why I play this now is mainly because of the existence of Diamond Direwolf. Diamond Direwolf can destroy 2 cards on the field, so this can banish it. It can also stop Fire King Garunix, and it can also stop Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and multiple other cards.
That's fair enough.
And as a counter trap, it'll let you draw a card. So that is...
Is that 40 cards exact?
That's the counter traps so far.
That's counter traps,
Other traps, 2 Dimensional Prisons, 2 Bottomless Trap Holes, 2 Mirror Force, and then I also play 2 Macro Cosmos, because the only card in the deck that needs to go to the graveyard is Honest, and Honest is too powerful to not to play, so even with Macro Cosmos on the field, Honest is still a 1900 defender. Without this on the field, Honest is at its full power, so...
And Macro kind of wrecks the format at the moment.
Especially since this deck has such a bad matchup against Mermails, but Macro kind of mitigates that. So 14 monsters, 7 spells, and 20 traps for a total of 41 cards. The extra deck, Lagia and Dolka for the Guibers. One copy of Style Age Paladynamo because it's recently come out and it's a very good card. Make it with the Artemis, the DD Warrior Ladies, the Honest, the Thunder Kings, and it just helps get over big monsters. Yes, it won't go to the graveyard with macro on the field, but its general utility is still served, where it reduces the monster attack to 0, negates it, and runs over it easily.
Yep.
Utopia Ray, Maestro, Steelstorm Roach, Diamond Direwolf, Blade Armor Ninja, and Heroic Champion Excalibur for DD Warrior Ladies. A lot of people get shocked by this. One of my favourite moments with this is when I had a DD Warrior Ladies set, and I summoned the second one, and my opponent let it go. I flipped up the other DD Warrior Lady, and I then exceeded for Blade Armor Ninja. He flipped Solemn Judgment. I flipped 7 Tools of the Bandit and then attacked twice per game. One copy of Abyss Dweller. I've never actually used this card, mainly because I've probably got macro, but it's a very useful card. Gargaga Cowboy, Shockmaster, Photon Papal Operative, and Gemini Pearl.
It's a nice, decent amount of rank 4s there.
Yep, everything's rank 4 because you only play rank 4s on the main deck, so definitely good. My side deck's always changing, but the one I'm using at the moment is 2 copies of Doom Caliber Knight. This is more useful against rogue decks, and it's still decent against Mermails and several decks, so that's very nice to have. 2 copies of Breaker the Magical Warrior. This is mainly to get rid of Royal Decree, but it's also good against Fire Fist and several rogue decks as well. If you're playing another anti-meta deck, then this is very handy. 2 copies of Snowman Eater, mainly for Dino Rabbit, but it's also good against other problematic monsters that I might have trouble with. 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. This is also for Royal Decree and because I don't main it, so that's very handy. 2 copies of Smashing Ground. I play it over Soul Taker mainly because it's shiny, and I don't actually have any Soul Takers, and I felt with macro on the field, Smashing Ground and Soul Taker generally do the same thing anyway.
Yep,
so
that's fair.
2 copies of Black Horn of Heaven. This is really only good against Dino Rabbit, and if you only go first, but it's also decent against Windups and many other rogue decks like 6 Samurai. Yep. That helps. And then 1 extra copy of Dimensional Prison and Macrocosmos to make 15.
Alright.
And yep, that's it.
Any other thoughts? Any changes?
Not really. It's a surprising deck for people to play against, and a lot of people don't know how to play against it, so that works to my advantage.
No worries. Thank you for that, Michael.
No worries.
And we hope to see another profile from you sooner or later in the future.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.